to be thought half as good. This shows our frustration, right? This shows our frustration, and the numbers that I should, could back up what we feel, because there's not so many of us in the top leadership. Okay. Okay. Now, how to propel yourself forward? This is done by the Turkish lecturer that I told you who has moved to US. She gave a very simple conclusion to her study. Only these three. Just be yourself, because the inherent properties in women are great. Trust your instinct and embrace mistakes. Don't give up. Okay. Her topic actually was this: lead like a girl. You don't have to be like a man physically, least to say, So, when did something like a girl become an insult? It shouldn't be an insult. It should be something that you should be proud of. Okay? When women adopt leadership roles, they contribute a unique set of skills, okay? Unique set of ideas and life experiences that can broaden the entire company's insight, strategies, and bottom line. On average, Fortune 500 companies with more female board representation achieved a significantly higher financial performance than those with fewer female representatives. This is a study, an outcome of a study, which is really, really, interesting. Now, how to recruit and nurture talented female leaders? The best way is by creating a supportive environment that actively empowers women. Okay? No, I don't want this yet. Not yet. Okay. Still on this, we could encourage mentorship and collaboration. Women increase their chance of succeeding when they have mentors to provide real-life examples. Okay. Second, letting family come first. Create an atmosphere that nurtures family life with benefits like flexible working hours, on-site childcare and education. This is one thing that, could facilitate women in workplace. Now, another thing is you should take the pressure off. Women should feel comfortable vocalizing their ideas. Encourage everyone to speak up. Don't feel intimidated in the boardroom or in the meeting room. You speak out your mind, so you let it out of your chest. This is the environment that is conceived as a very conducive environment for women to stay on in jobs. Okay, now, if you want to empower yourself, I always say that, if you have an extra qualification, extra knowledge, all right, that always is an advantage for you. If you go for an interview, let's say there's a male and a female, if you have this, of course, you will have higher chance to get employed. So why people do graduate education? That means after you graduate, you do another course, or maybe you specialize in a certain area. One is because you have an interest in a particular area. You want to be a master, a pro in that particular area. That's why you do a graduate education. This is my second laugh, don't worry. That also increases the chances of employability. Of course, higher salary. This is also not me just saying it. This is from study from one professor. Now, additional qualification also not only benefits you, it also benefits the organization. Okay. In conclusion, women are great at building relationship, empowering others. Okay, not this one. sorry. Empowering others, tuning into people's needs, and balancing a staggering number of responsibilities, multitasking and all that. Women are better. Skills, all these skills are great assets. They are not in any way liabilities. Just bear that in mind. So time and time again, this when time and time again, women have shown that when they are empowered through laws, policies, and programs that expand their access to education, healthcare, and employment, they very often exceed expectation. This was said by our then Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Abdullah Ahmad Badawi. So just believe in yourself. Last but not least, this is a favorite quote by Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. If you want anything said, ask a man. If you want something done, ask a woman. So this is a challenge for you ladies. So I end my lecture with a big thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Dato' Ravi. Thank you very much, Dato' Rosetta, for the wonderful talk on the women's leadership and empowerment on the society. So we'll have a just 5 minutes break. There are some people are coming in also. So we'll start within 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of you waiting. So now we can start the second speaker. Today's program, Mr. Chakib Abisab, to share his views about inside the minds of CEOs. Mr. Chakib Abisab works with top-level stakeholders of Telecom Malaysia and assists to identify new revenue system, extend his geographical research to gain efficiencies with the objective of improving the top and bottom lines. Chakib was the Chief Information Officer of Bumi Armada prior to joining Telecom Malaysia. In Bumi Armada, he has extensive experience in the information technology sector. He started his careers with Jetronics Inc. in 1996 in the United States, where he joined as a technical support analyst and became the Internet Service Division Manager for one of their major support centers. He later joined Baker Hughes Inc. in 2001 and had several roles including managing the information technology support teams in Latin America and creating the information technology support service structure for Middle East and Asia Pacific. He holds the Bachelor of Business Management and a Master of Business Administration, International Business from LeTourneau University in Longview, Texas, US. Most recently, Chakib became a member of Gartner Research Board. The Research Board is an international think tank headquartered in the New York City. With these few words, I'll ask Mr. Chakib to give his talk. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much. Let me see. Okay, I think this is just fine. Well, I do realize that it's 11:20 and I am the last thing between you and lunch later, so I will try to be quick, but I want to make sure that I get some points for you today. Thank you very much. This is good. So before I start, first of all, I'd like to thank Tato Sharil for the invitation, Ms. Stella for preparing everything, Mr. Hari, the rest of the staff, and everyone who is here today. Thank you for coming. The reason I made time to come here today, and I assure you that I'm very busy right now, I'm in the middle of a move, is because it motivates me to see students who want to understand the importance of potentially moving forward with further education and to learn. I was where you are several years ago, and the presentation that I prepared today in the minds of a CEO is going to take a little different approach. I'm going to tell you what I wish somebody would have told me when I was sitting where you are several years ago. Because unfortunately, one of the things that happens today a lot is that we get a lot of statistics, a lot of information, but we need practical advice on how we are going to move from where we are today to become successful executives in the future or successful in anything you will do in your career. I was very lucky because when I moved to the US many years ago, and by the way, this terrible accent is, I'm originally from Venezuela, South America. So I moved to the US when I was 17. And I didn't come from a rich family. I came from a normal, medium family, and for us to move to the US was very expensive. So what that meant is that I had to work while I was going to the university, while I was a student. And this completely changed my life. Because when I started to do my MBA, and I went for an MBA, I was able to apply everything I was learning on a daily basis at work. And if I was to give you the first biggest advice of today is whatever you do, make sure that if you have the possibility, if you have the time, if you have the ability to go for further education, you must do it. Do not lose the opportunity. And I'm going to tell you why. Not only are you going to learn in an MBA several practical lessons that will help you move forward. It's very different from the typical education you get at a normal university level. But also, it's going to enable you to move ahead of the rest. Today, you guys are a lot more prepared and brilliant than we were many years ago. But that also brings a challenge for you, because that means that you must gain a competitive advantage in order to be seen by executives in organizations. And today, with thousands of applicants for every job, you need to stand out. And if you want to stand out, the first step to get your CV seen is to have an MBA. And I have been in business for 22 years. Please take that advice, because if you do, one day you will thank me for it. You will say, that Venezuelan bald guy that told me that advice several years ago was right. First advice. So let me see how this thing works. Okay, so the approach I'm going to take today is we're going to talk about CEOs and how they think. But the important thing about this is, why should you care? Because just simply knowing what they do and how they are doesn't really matter. Is why should you care? How can you use that to your advantage? How to get noticed for promotions and career growth in general, based on what we know of focus of CEOs. Then I'm going to give you some top tips for career success. And these top tips are based on how to get the maximum visibility by CEOs and executives in an organization so that you can grow. I'm going to give you a list of what I call 4 golden rules. These golden rules I have learned by attending my MBA and by reading. I like to read books. You cannot be successful today if you are not constantly reading. And let me tell you another big piece of advice that I learned early on. If you are not reading books regularly, you do not have any advantage over those who don't. Never forget that. And then, assuming that you follow all that advice and the golden rules, and you move on, and you get into positions, managerial roles, then I cannot give you an MBA in 45 minutes, but I wanted to give you the best tips for what you will have to do on those first 90 days in that role. Because what you do on your first 90 days in a new role is very likely going to define the rest of your career. So again, I wish somebody had told me this when I was there many years ago. I had to learn it through crashes, burns, hitting walls, but luckily I did. So I want you guys to get the meat of the knowledge that I've gained through these years and through my MBA in 30 minutes. So I hope you guys like it. So first of all, let's go through the boring part. Yes, the concept. So what is a CEO? Well, it's there, right? A CEO is the highest ranking executive of an organization. But what is important to understand is that being the highest ranking member of an organization means that you are the person where the buck stops. You have the utmost responsibility. You are responsible for profit and loss of the organization, and most of all, you are responsible for the life of everyone in that organization. Because if you fail, people's lives are going to be changed and affected forever. Now, this also means these people are busy. And if we understand they're busy and we understand what they care about, then we need to find ways to understand how to be noticed in an organization. I see a lot of young faces here, and probably most of you have not faced this. But let me tell you, one of the big challenges in corporate world today is that you see many people working extremely hard day and night. And sometimes those are not the people that are promoted. Other people are promoted, and for those working day and night